Mock review. Obceth here with two mocks by DragonBorn on the Amino. I usually only do one, but you'll see why I'm doing two. We're starting off with Rogan DB self mock, and as you can see, head on, this guy is an absolute unit. I mean, you look at him and he completely reminds me of the Michael Bay Transformers. It is just detailed as all hell, like Greeblings, what you can call it. Just from top down, it looks amazing. I mean, objectively, the only thing you may not appreciate with this mock is that the mask is painted. But I believe it was a silver evoke, so not too much was lost. But yeah, let's just look at this head on. Like, as you can see, a completely custom weapon. I think a lot of them end up using the Tahu Nuva flame swords, which I need to get because they do look awesome. But the whole thing, look at it. That is just a great. It's a great sword, probably a Buster Blade, whatever he wants to define it as. It's got a great look to it. Details all can be. Feet wise, that might be the one thing I'm not too big on from the front. It's just kind of flat from the back, then it has a CCBS going up, so it's kind of a different feel all around. I guess if you wanted to do a little bit more to kind of make it a little more shapely, I might have put some sort of armor, like a armor shelling on top of that. But anyway, going up, I'm not entirely sure what's going on with the shins. Looks like it's black with some white. I'll look at one of my other pictures, try to see if I have a better view of it. I'm not entirely sure why that's black and white. I mean, it goes with the rest of the color scheme, but it just kind of feels a little bit off, but it also feels like there's no other way you could have really done it and kept the balance. A little thin right there. Kind of it's empty and then it gets really bulky around the back. Like this dude's got some massive calf muscles back there, but there's nothing but bone in the front. Yeah. Small nitpicks, but knee pads, really good. I know I might call it shaft work. Feels very machine-like, very fitting for Bionicle. More of a G2 feel versus the first one. I think I know which piece that is, maybe. Whenever I save these photos, they're not always ultra high depth, so it's hard for me to make out small details. And this is just so much system going on, and that is completely beyond my scope of skills, so I don't know it. All I know is it looks very detailed. Like this feels like a paladin's armor. Same going up around the hips is pretty fine. I can see the armoring that goes with the first thing because mine is like Hukimari or Toro Mari. He has a shoulder armor. I really like the crotch plating here. Like that's a very, I mean, obviously it's firm, but yeah, it has a very cloth-like design to it that you could often see in depictions of classic paladins or knights. So a really nice touch because it also kind of covers up the black that's on the inside. But that the black could be because it's supposed to be like shadow work, so it's pretty nice to see. And man, this waist. It's amazing what you can do with these very small pieces. What are those minifig fingers with just talons on them? Just man, just look at that. The very different look for a Bionicle. I mean, it gives it a definite unique shape. Man, I just imagine like feeling it and just like feeling like able to grip it really well. Just man. Also the chest here, man. Rogan's been doing his push-ups because man, he's got pecs for days. You could also very well just use this for like a female mock, and that's just like an ultra titty boost. Man, just look at that. Just pronounced as can be. A really good use of Metru shoulder armor. I really like that. The shoulder pads, I mean, those have to be completely custom with system. And they jut out really nicely, so it makes them look very, very broad shoulders and manly. I think that's a tire that connects that to the forearm. Good distinction there because I guess in real armor that's where you would want some gappage. That way your arms aren't being restricted. So it's just giving it that piece there really gives a very different feel to it. Nice distinction. And then forearms, I think that might be like CCBS, has a bunch of shells on it, more greebling, just overall good. And I mean, he has hands with all 5 fingers, it looks like. So I mean, what else are you gonna say? He's got the red on it, so it looks like it's also armored up. Just every last bit of this guy seems detailed. The mask work is pretty good too. I think the white on the inside fits for what's on the internal. Putting the I guess those are supposed to be horns. Part of me always likes to think there's some sort of bunny ears, but it's a nice addition to change it up from the regular Evoke. It's really hard to get away with using that mask for anything else. I'm be like, oh no, that's just Takanuva's mask. So I think by doing that, you definitely help steering it away. From some of these other pictures, it does seem like he has some posability. Or before we get into that, I only have one picture that shows some of the back. Looks like he has a very pronounced upper back. Like it's bulked up really well. It juts out really far. I'm actually not entirely sure how I feel about that. Maybe if there was some sort of thing that, like, I don't want to say jetpack, but something else that could be on the back, it would make sense. Otherwise, I'm not entirely sure why you're going for that, but it's there and it still looks detailed from what we can see at this kind of juxtaposed angle. Rogan's another weapon he seems to have, as you can see in this photo, is it's a double, I guess, double-winged axe, which again is custom and looks amazing. Those might be, are those 3D prints for the blades? If it is, that's cool. The one thing I can't say I really like too much is the handle. Like, the design's fine. I just want to know, why is it bent? I think that might be the one thing I don't really like about it, because I don't see much sense for it. It's not like it's like this is the Gargoyles axe from Dark Souls. I don't think it's supposed to be swinging around. So I'm not sure what benefit he's getting from having it curve downwards. Like, I mean, for an axe, it's not meant to be any sort of like real special technique to an axe. Like, it's a very straightforward attacking weapon. But so moving onwards. But yeah, as I was trying to say, posability. It looks like he definitely has some. He's got a few poses in here, but this is like the big point of contention when it comes to me, when it comes to mocking. Whereas I prefer to make mocks that feel like they're upgrades beyond what you would get with a normal set, but there's something that can be, I would say, relatively easily replicated by anybody by looking at, and they should always still feel like a toy. I feel this one, he still has some posability, but it borders closer to being a figurine, a statue. And another thing is, I don't really, if I had him, I wouldn't want to move him around too much, because I know, like, if you drop him, so much of that would come flying off, and that's my big worry. Like, I don't have to spend so long putting a mock back together and potentially forgetting how I did something in the first place. So that's a risk. But I mean, if that's what you're going for, he still accomplished it really well. It's a great figure. That's just my personal preference. Also, he has like another crotch tassel on the back. It's a little bit wider, so by doing both of those, it definitely gives it a cloth-like feel to it, like something just wrapped around him. Okay, but now we're on to the reason why it's 2 mocks for this review, because we also have Negan, which looks like a dark version of Rogan in his build with some changes here. As you can see, he has extra horns, extra wide shoulder pads that shoot off in a pointy style. He has more talon claws on his hands, and I think he has a longer crotch tapestry. I mean, otherwise it's about the same, but it looks like inverted Rogan, and he replicated the Doomslayer's sword with that same color palette. So good job doing that. I guess those pieces were originally white and you painted them purple. Maybe the white could come off as a type of like energy going around it, like how the sword is. It's made of like a that orange, I don't know, energy source, whatever you want to call it. Can't say I'm the biggest fan of that etching though. I think I would have gone with a full purple overwords, and to maybe just like try drawing some runes on it for something else. I prefer the solidity of the purple, and I don't know, maybe etch it with black or something to make it seem more evil. Just there's no other white with this character, so I feel it's kind of it's a little bit of a miss for me. But build wise, still pretty awesome. Also, instead of having two bunny-like ears, he has four horns, which you can maybe also it could be, there's representative of pure evil, it's more like a demon, or you could think of it as like an evil crown, which I kind of like to see with this one. He definitely has a really cool look to him as a contrast, being all black with a little bit of purple. This gives me a very Optimus Prime and Megatron type feel to them, which I think kind of works given that I think DB says like the voice of Rogan would be pretty close to Optimus Prime. But all in all, just amazing builds here. Stuff that very worthy belongs, in like a little display. It's a true testament to mocking and what you can do with a figure. Again, I still think it's a little too close to statuary, but just for what it is, it's really, really impressive. Good job, DB. Hey, nice mock.